TV besties, what's good and welcome back. As you can see in the title, we're getting into this reaction recap of Married at First Sight. This is like episode 17 and Getaway, because that's because like we're in like the second portion of their retreat. But what's good? Hey, welcome if you're new here. I'm your girl Ash, your TV bestie, you know, the one you check in, call, text. Girl, did you see that episode? That's me. That's me. So if you need a TV bestie, come on, stick around for a little bit. Check out this video. And let's go ahead and get on into it. Because, y'all, this, like I said, this is we're into like the second portion or the second half, I guess we'll say. We'll see in the second half of their retreat getaway. We're so close to decision day. And y'all know last week I was like just fed up. I was like fed up, but y'all know the Libra in me, the sucker of love in me just gets drawn back in with these couples. But really, nah, really honestly, the feeling this is really just like about the same. I think it's just some revelations just like happening, especially like between like Arris and Jasmine. And then some things like with Gina and Clint, like y'all, no. Where do I start? Where do I even 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 start? All right, so one thing, no. Let me start here that I feel like season 16 has had like the best couples retreat. I feel like while no, everybody's marriage may not be at its best, it's still given like nothing crazy happened with none of the couples. Everybody got along. All the events that they did were just and attractions like were lit, were fun. So getting into like they did like this whole lumberjack thing and they're climbing walls and doing like this whole saw thing. Like it looked like a good time. Like it definitely looks like a great adventurous like type date to really like get you going. Like it was definitely given where is our boy Aris. This was the perfect opportunity for Aris to be here. Jasmine had made it to the highest point as far as everybody else who did do the activity of like the climbing the log thing. Girl, Jasmine, yes, the booty was right in the harness. The booty was right in the harness. And it was nice to hear, that Eris actually did appreciate that, in the after party. He talked about that. He brought that up in the after. They talked about that in the after party. And he was like, yeah, that chick was like real nicely proportioned. I was like, this kid, like, y'all, Eris, though, he brings it back. No, I'm jumping in. I'm getting too excited. Let's rewind it just a little bit because what I actually enjoyed was seeing Nicole and Chris and Kirsten and Shaq doing like that whole, I think that's like their Western type thing. But I don't know, every time I go to the fair and I see it, and I be wanting to do those pictures all the time. And I think I'm really going to like treat myself to like actually like do it next time the fair comes back, because I don't know what it is about this. And like they both just like really took some good pictures, and nothing from Nicole and Chris, but Shaq and Kirsten were giving it in their pictures. Okay, they were like so cute. So as well, I think is what is also probably why I never really did it by myself. It's because I want to do it like with somebody. I just feel like it just gives the whole, that was like the Bonnie and Clyde like type times, right? Like that whole robbing banks, and well, clearly people rob banks. Y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all get what I'm trying to get at. Like it's a thing for me. I want to do it. So I had to let y'all know. We just had to talk about it because I just honestly just thought it was the, cutest thing. But it also, what throws me off with them is, and I'm talking about Kirsten and Shaq, by the way, is it always like boggles me that they really are like these communication issues are clearly like, I guess they're really just deeper than what I know them to be, because it's really pushing them as far as like moving forward, this whole disconnect and like the communication where she basically has the need to talk all the time, all night, and like whatever. And he's just like, gradually, I think basically Shaq's just like, gradually, day by day, I think we're just going to continue to learn things about each other. We don't need to necessarily sit and have a conversation, or whatever, whatnot. Which I'm kind of like where he is. Like, yeah, it's okay to cool, sit down and have conversations sometimes. And as well, it's okay to just, just let things be and just let things just, you learn these things like naturally or whatever or whatnot. So they just see, when you see them on camera, like it's like they have such a great connection. They're always laughing. They seem to like always be having a good time, outside of like when these communication issues, come along. I just be sitting here like, is this not even enough? This connection between y'all not even enough to just make you want to see it past decision day? Does this communication thing just really seems to be the make or break of the yes or no? That's what's weighing on on decision day, is their communication issue. As if the communication issue doesn't get cleared up, nobody's saying yes on decision day. I digress. But Arris comes back. Let's get back into Arris. Let's get into Arris and how he, even like when they interviewed him, like at the apartment, he was just talking about how it just felt different at the apartment. And then coming back, and like, I was like, okay, all right, we're hugging. It'll be nice to see like a little, y'all can't do like the side cheek kiss and stuff. Like, no? Is that too friendly? A side cheek between a man and a woman? I mean, I'm just saying, it's getting to somewhere. I don't know. Y'all let me know. It's a side cheek between a man and a woman. Is that like, no, because I kind of feel like if you do a side cheek and it's like really like not a full side cheek, but it's kind of like a low key like side lip, it can be kind of like intimate and sexy a little bit. Maybe that's me. Okay. Sorry, y'all. It got a little personal. Y'all don't mind. So he like full on like admits of like and of course, no, he's not gonna do it in like the most romanticist way. I just don't think that that's his style. But I think she finds it funny, so I guess that's cool or whatever or whatnot. Like his way of like, well, it's not many times that he's always like complimented her and said he missed her, Ashley. So what he just has a sarcasm and a jokiness, like, about him. Like that's like, I feel like how he like kind of like shows love or whatever or whatnot, and him just talking about, not seeing hair everywhere or whatever, whatnot. And I myself, I thought he was talking about the dog shedding or whatever, whatnot. But then as well, I was like, wait, didn't Jasmine say like her dog doesn't shed? And no, he wasn't about like all it did though, all I could see it though, all I could just actually see it, because before your girl had locks, so she didn't have locks in her life. Like, come on, like we even just my own hair, like when we had loose hair, because we used to wear the doobie wraps, we used to rock doobie wraps, you would shed hair, and then don't get like a couple tracks like sewed in or whatever or whatnot. Like, girl, that stuff shed. That hair, believe it or not, that good old human hair, this stuff that they be wearing, that stuff sheds too, okay? It sheds. So, that's how it kind of gives like, because he talks about in the after party how it actually annoys him. And that's like that, what I feel like is that love a little bit. And I'm not saying it's love, but that lets you know that there's something that might be there a little bit. The fact that there's something that annoys him so bad, and then it's not there, and he's like, wait, like, so I really felt like that is, we're looking like at, seeing a shift between them. They talked about, the shift, and let's hope they both can continue to work on the things that they've talked about so many times, as far as like what they wanted, what they learned from this retreat, and as well like what they need for decision day, so I ain't getting sucked up in y'all. I ain't gonna, don't even do it as I ain't gonna get sucked all in. So let's just really, y'all, like, let me tell you also what like just tripped me out, whatever, whatnot. I liked it how at the end how they did the sorry, my mind just totally shifted subjects in the midst of that. I'm gonna tell y'all what I was gonna say before, but I did like how Jasmine presented like that question game to everybody before, like at their very last dinner before leaving, because not Gina, Shaq and Kirsten did end up leaving early. Shaq had to get back for work or whatever or whatnot. And we just not even gonna keep talking about like their communication stuff. Like there's still an issue with it, y'all. Like, I don't know what else has to be said. My bad, y'all. Y'all know it ain't a recap if y'all niece ain't interrupting. But as we were saying, now I loved how Jasmine brought the card game that her and Eris were playing and the car ride, up to the mountains or whatnot, for the other couples or whatever or whatnot. And what I really felt, my takeaway actually from it, because I honestly felt like the cards were for them. I feel like the card that each couple received was exactly specifically for them and that, but in their particular circumstances and where they particularly are in that moment. It's so crazy because it makes me think of like tarot and oracle decks or whatever or whatnot. But I feel like the questions that the cards that they picked was, just right on time. And while yes, agreed that, there were questions that they probably had never, they each couple admitted that they had not asked each other that question or, whatnot. But, what nice conversation starter, So now, what I'm gonna get to as far as the juice or whatever or whatnot, is this whole thing with Gina and Clint. Because I've y'all know whose side I've always been on. I've definitely always been on like feeling like that they would be a great couple. Feeling like Clint is only holding back because of Gina and he's riding on Gina. Even regardless of what he says about, I don't even know what I was going to say. But yeah, I just feel like he's not being his true authentic self because he feels something, obviously something that's, something from her or whatever or whatnot. And there were a couple of things that came up on the after party because mind you, all this time I'm just like, they are, he was, really checked in with her. And it really showed, I feel like, how much he paid attention because this girl sounds like so getting in specifically to what I'm talking about. So Gina ended up finding out on the trip that one of her, stylists had decided to quit or whatever or whatnot. And so obviously that had but actually brought some, emotions out of her, and even Clint seeing a different side of her as far as her crying and being a bit more vulnerable, which is something that he probably had been asking for like all this time or whatever. And it's coming. You're thinking like, this is good. Like, oh my gosh, we might be getting something. Even Gina's saying that moment with him, like she might have started to feel like somewhat of a shift. That one thing might have started as what's the name would say, as Eris says, trend, that something's trending, there between them. And he's fully checked in, talking about like this girl sounds like that she was around clearly before Clint has been around or whatever, whatnot, as far as like her mentoring her and teaching her, like it shows just how much he is actually invested. So in a clip where when the couples were after the lumberjack event, after lumberjack adventures, we'll just call it that, and they separate, and each couple, each spouse goes with the group or whatever, whatnot, to the point that everybody's separated, so no two couples are together, so no couples are actually together here. So she's talking, but it's normal. I feel like what we saw was normal Gina stuff, just the disconnect and okay, her feeling like, that's what she says, her feeling like that she has not been able to feel like a wife in this situation, that one, that she was actually kind of embarrassed by his by Clint's behavior of getting drunk and barely making it to the bed, and that's not what a woman wants, whatnot. And basically, as well, but yes, because basically somebody, yes, there were some things that you're right that she made clear about that. But then in this separate little clip, it was so much more like in depth. Even yes, that's what it was. The whole like I'm mixing up the clips, y'all. Clearly now that I'm thinking about it, but just getting all into it. The fact of her feeling like that she doesn't feel like a wife in this marriage. When would you feel like that would have been a good time to bring that up? I stand by the fact that it's something Gina does not want this, and it's so easy to it. I don't know. And at the same time, it doesn't make sense because I feel like if you did want it, why would you not speak up about that? And even Clint goes even as well at after party to tell Keisha that he basically that she is two different people on camera and off camera. Basically, that he feels a bond more with her on camera than versus off camera. Off camera, like there's absolutely nothing. But the bond shows as we see it, we're thinking that the bond is forming, and he's basically saying that she basically has been putting on an act this entire time. I'm not saying that what he's saying is the truth because he could be very well trying to save his own self. And I guess her reaction to, again, trying to save, like a blow for a blow because she said that that's not what she wants in a husband because he had a night of drunkenness. For me, it's not that big of a deal. I guess at the same time when you're trying to get to know each other and she's feeling like, you should be trying to, it's just to say this. She just like she can say, "Oh, he should be doing these things to make me feel like a wife. He doesn't compliment me, whatever, whatever, whatever." Are you doing anything to make him feel like a husband? Don't make this a you type thing if you're not feeding back that same energy. If he's not feeling like a husband, what makes him want to make you? It shouldn't be a tit for tat like type of thing, but this is just where we are now at this point. Nobody has decided to make the effort to do something different, to make to gather in these feelings. But I guess at the same time, if what Clinton is saying is true, then I mean, y'all, like, what is going on? What is going on? And it ain't like I'm even expecting to even get a truth out of it because I don't expect Gina to be like, well, yeah, like, that's what it is. Like, I'm just copping out. Like, I really like, I don't know. Who knows? Things always seem to come out somewhat differently when they do these reunions or whatever, whatnot. But I mean, at this point, we know what's up at this point. We know what's going to be the deal. No idea when this kiss is going to happen. I thought it was going to happen at this here retreat, but clearly it's not going to happen. So maybe it's going to happen after decision day. That's what it sounds like. And if that be the case, and looks like not Gina, that looks like Arris and Jasmine decided to say yes. We shall see. We shall see. That's my prediction at this point. This kiss that Dominique and Clint share is going to be after decision day, after some of the couples have said yes. So let's see, because I feel like that's when they start to bring the couples back together, is after decision day, after everybody's made decisions and then everybody presents what that decision was. And I do believe that's how they did it before. So that's my prediction. That's what it's going to be. Ultimately, at this point, we know they're not going to stay married. It's what's done is what's done at this point. Next episode, clearly, it's just like, okay, like it's like literally now we're at the time of, now that we're at the end, now you really want to bring up these situations that like you have about him. Because the crazy thing is though, I will say that I did see like her facial expressions when they were in the hot tub and he was he had the champagne and he had asked like the question of like, what's the craziest place you had sex, like it, and nobody really wanted to answer, but he decided to answer. But clearly Gina's face was just like, like, nah, this ain't it. I definitely caught that. Y'all let me know if y'all caught that too, because yeah, something she it ain't gonna be that. It ain't gonna be that. I'm not even gonna try to like. Do I think ultimately it was her? Yes. Ultimately, I believe yes. She was the ultimate detriment of their marriage, and I'm just gonna stand on that point. I feel like we really didn't talk about Nicole and Chris. They're just trying to figure out this whole situation. Let's see what they're going to do about this whole moving situation, because ultimately, and now it does sound like Chris as well does not want to live separately, but they do have they are dealing with a challenge or whatnot, because they have 3 dogs, and not very small dogs either. And yeah, a lot of apartments definitely have their, and even condominiums may have their restrictions on like even breeds, weights, the amount of dogs. So that's something to really think about. And now I can kind of like fully understand like why that there's like the bit of a rush, because y'all really have to now find a convenience for all of y'all to be able to live together. Where right, it is easy just to live separately because of the circumstance, until y'all have a year, whatever, 6 months, or do a month to month until y'all find a place. But I don't know, work something out, man. MAFS, see if they can stay at this condo for a month. I don't know, something. So we shall see, y'all. Y'all definitely let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts were on this particular episode. Love to see it. Or as well, you can always drop me some purple hearts just to let me know that you've made it to the end of the video, in which I hope that you enjoy it and consider liking the video. And as well, subscribe. Your girl's trying to get to 200 subscribers by the end of April. And y'all, we really only got a couple of days left. We only got a couple of days left. Come on, Lee. Bye, y'all.